Hi, I'm Gloria Strode and welcome to Straightforward. We are so excited today. We have had those wonderful implants to help with monitoring diabetes, and our awesome team is here today to talk about how great of success we had. Dr. Baliga and Kathleen.
Hey, Gloria.
We're excited. It worked.
It did.
It was awesome. The first in the nation.
First in the nation.
How about that? So we blazed the trail.
We did.
Awesome team, awesome team.
And you, Gloria, you got the first scoop, right?
I got the first scoop. I was so excited to be invited, actually witness the procedure with the patient's permission. Asked could I stand there and watch, and it was just amazing.
Yes.
So it's life-changing.
It is.
And so again, Kathleen, what is this product for those that missed it the first time when we were introducing it before the implants?
Yeah, so this is the first and only implantable continuous glucose monitor in the market that lasts up to 90 days.
90 days.
Yeah.
So it's life-changing because people are not constantly just having to prick their fingers.
Well, they do still have to calibrate the technology twice a day. The real benefit is that they're not having to continually do self-insertion.
Right.
Because that then falls on Dr. Baliga's shoulders. So he takes care of that once every 90 days and eliminates that burden of that weekly or bi-weekly self-insertion.
Okay, so it's saving with some of that where we're prodding and poking in our bodies.
Yes.
Okay.
And the other great benefit is that it alarms. So there's a transmitter that sits on the body that notifies the patient, and it's the only one on the market that does that through the transmitter so that you don't miss highs and lows, which is of great value to the patient.
So it's like an alarm clock. Okay.
It is. So we should realize that taking care of diabetics is a very challenging. It's a very complex disease, and I call it a killer disease because if you don't take good care of diabetes, it can kill you.
Yes, it will.
No ifs or buts, right?
Right, yes.
So when patients come to me with badly controlled diabetes, and they are at their wit's end. They're worried about the blood sugars fluctuations, they're worried about low blood sugars, and when they come to me, I want to see their numbers, I want to help them, right? And how can I help them? So I look at their glycemic control. So I want to see what are their fasting blood sugar when they wake up in the morning. And the next thing I want to know is how high their sugars go like 2 hours after eating a meal.
Okay.
And what happens in between? How are they approaching a meal? How do they go to bed? What kind of blood sugar? Because biggest danger is they go to bed around a blood sugar of 100, then somewhere in the middle of the night, 2, 3 o'clock, the blood sugar drops so critically low.
Really?
They can end up with a heart attack or a stroke, or they can go into a seizure also. So one of the challenges that my patients have is to show me their finger stick. So good old days, like a bullock cart age, I call it. We used to do the finger sticks.
Right.
But there are only finite times you can do. And most of the time, my patients, sometimes they're like kids. They don't want to do the finger stick.
I know, it's like, oh, not again.
They're good people, but they just don't like the pain.
Right.
So I shout at them sometimes. So
They must
then
be
I feel
scolded.
bad.
Yes,
Then I feel
yes.
bad. But now we have continuous glucose sensors, and it's continually evolving. Started with the iPro from Medtronic, which was a blind one, which will detect all the sugars but stores it. Until you download, there is nothing. Then came different continuous glucose sensors, for example Libre, which you have to wear it for 10 days, and there is a handheld device, you bring it close and it will show you the number.
Right,
but
the one looked like a little cell phone.
Yes, I showed you last time. So then the Dexcom came, which is a very good sensor. You know, nowadays you can wear it up to 7 to 10 days, and there is a monitor which shows you the numbers, and there are built-in alarms. If the sugar goes low, sugar goes high. But you have to change it every 7 to 10 days.
Okay, so that we were changing every 7 to 10.
7 to 10
and now with Eversense,
with Eversense,
it's
amazing.
90 days.
You know, it's like, you know, when they first approached me, and I was like, wow, this is what my patient needs, because it's going to improve their compliance. Now patients know their sugar all the time. They look at their iPhone or Android phone. They see the numbers in actual time. And not only that, the best feature is it will alert you. Okay, we have built-in alarms. If the blood sugar is less than 70, buzz. You feel the buzz. You look at the number and you correct it. See, in the old days, we had to wait until the blood sugar dropped to like 30s and 40s.
Really?
At that time, it is too late.
That's dangerous.
And they're so hungry, they keep on drinking juices, eating sugar. Then the next blood sugar is like 400.
It's too high.
That's
Right, so it was
that's
hard to
why
find that
it
balance.
was very fluctuating. Now, we can sense the glucose dropping even before it actually goes so low, so that appropriate actions can be taken. Overall, it translates into better glycemic control, less fluctuation, and almost, I don't want my patients to have any hypoglycemic episode.
Right.
I'm okay with them having a little bit high sugar, but I'm deathly afraid of lows for my patients.
And the low is the most dangerous, you
Low
think?
is the most dangerous. Let's say, Gloria, you'll be driving and you have taken your insulin and you have forgotten to eat, and when the blood sugar drops, what happens? The mind cannot think, because there is something called neuroglycopenia. The brain needs sugar to think clearly.
Neuroglycopenia.
That
okay,
means
so the brain is not getting
enough sugar.
Right.
So then you get confused. So you see people driving erratically, then crashing. Sometimes the police pull them over, give them a ticket saying that they're drunk.
Right.
So
because those are the same symptoms of driving under the influence of alcohol or something.
Exactly. So
wow.
that's why we are working with the police department also to
train them
how to recognize hypoglycemia. But the bottom line is, yes, now we have enough tools to help our patients to know their sugars all through the day and night. Let's say you have a very busy lifestyle. You're working with the machineries,
right.
or you're a realtor, or you're a physician.
Right.
Okay, because you don't have time to stand, stop, and do the finger stick. Right. Now all you have to do is to glance at your iPhone. You know the number.
So now you can do it discreetly.
And I think it's important to think about from, Eversense, it's not just the number, it's the direction that your blood sugar is going. So just by testing with a meter, you might know you're 60. But with this technology, you know you're 60 and going up or 60 and going down. And that tells a totally different story in how you're going to treat.
Okay, and so that helps to manage. Right, you're not the very high highs, the very low lows. It just kind of helps you keep things in balance, which improves the quality of life.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm excited that we have some of the first women to receive it. I mean, they really blazed the trail. Courageous, beautiful, professional women, and they took that leap of faith, and it's working out good. So we have them here today. We're going to have them join us and let them share the success.
I'm so proud of them, because I offered them, both these girls, they were like, let's do it.
Yes.
And I was so touched, because see, as a doctor, we offer something to our patients, and
sometimes they're resistant.
They resist it. I don't disagree with that decision if they say no, but when they say yes within the first few seconds, that tells you that they trust me.
And they have confidence in you. Exactly. Absolutely. Well, what we're going to do is go to our first sponsors break, and we'll be right back. Okay. We'll be right back after word from some of our sponsors. Straightforward is brought to you by Chalk by Quincy, introduces Excellence Redefined, timepieces of the finest technology, luxury, and class with tons of style at chalklifestyle.com. Renal Associates, LLC, a team of physicians dedicated to excellent kidney care with 5 convenient locations to serve you. Stark Avenue, Columbus, Bradley Park, Columbus, Lafayette Parkway, LaGrange, East Burkhalter Avenue, Buena Vista, and Springs Street in Warm Springs. The Framing Factory and Art Gallery, specializing in quality art and framing for all your needs. Original etchings, limited editions, and prints. Call Carlton Dickey today at 706-324-3823 or visit the Art Gallery at 1325 17th Street in Columbus. Vanessa Jackson's District 3 Successful Scholars Program, supporting students in achieving academic excellence, outstanding citizenship, positive social and cultural growth, believing in success for kids. Welcome back to Straightforward. We are so excited to have some of our first implant wonderful friends here. We're excited that you were brave and courageous and you took that leap of faith. So how is it working out, Diane and Amanda?
It's working out wonderfully, actually. I'm very excited. I think it's the greatest product ever that I've ever had in the last 27 years that I've been diabetic. And
so you've been a diabetic for 27 years.
Yes.
So you've kind of been through the old generation and grew into the new generation.
Many different products, many different insulin pumps, And this is just...
And so you were eager to just try this because it was changing the quality of your life?
Yes.
And so you're a professional. You work in real estate sales.
Yes.
So you're always running around all over the place.
Yes.
And so having to do that constant monitoring, that was...
Which you can't do. You really honestly cannot know everything that this is telling you, you know, minute by minute, every few minutes. It's telling you what's happening, where your blood sugar's going, what you need to do. If you're exercising, you're walking on the elliptical, you know that you can't walk for 2 hours because your blood sugar is dropping now. You need to stop, maybe have a snack. So it has really changed my life so much in just 2 weeks.
Really?
It's amazing.
Yeah, because she was one of the first. You're the first in Alabama. Of course, we're the first in the nation. We love being the first. That's Dr. Baliga's reputation. But you were not afraid.
No.
And how long did it take for that process that morning?
I first saw him and he mentioned it to me and I said, can we do it today? And he said no.
Yeah.
4 days from now we'll do
Right.
it. I'm like, okay, I'm in.
Uh-huh.
And it took, I think, maybe 10, 15 minutes at the
Really?
most. Not even, you know.
And so show us what happens.
So every few minutes, this is
So
this
let's
is an app.
say that he implanted.
The implant is right here in my shoulder.
Okay. Okay.
And then you have a transmitter here, which
Okay.
actually will transmit to the app on the phone. I have an iPhone, but they do have the app on the Droids.
Okay.
And it will transmit the blood sugar. It will also tell me if it's going up or down. I can also share my reports with Dr. Baliga through email. It's just it just lets you get ahead of whatever is going to happen. If you're going into a low situation, which is very uncomfortable, to say the least.
You said it's a feeling of anxiety?
You almost get like an anxiety attack, a panic attack, that you have to eat. And, you know, this gives me a lot more control because I catch it before I get to that point. I never did. And one of the things I was telling Dr. Baliga this morning is that I haven't had a low blood sugar since I got this.
Really?
Yeah.
So in 2 weeks' time, it's been a turnaround for you.
I'm so happy with it.
Really?
So happy with it.
Wow.
So like right now, my blood sugar is 112. That's excellent.
Excellent.
And it also will show you a graph of where you've been going and where you're, you know, it was a little bit higher, of like 125.
Yeah, just turn it to the camera.
112.
Okay.
And so it kind of lets you know how you're doing. And I think also knowing every few minutes, not that I sit there, you know, it is very tempting to do that, though,
right,
you know,
it
at
is.
first. But not that I do that, but you know, it's very good that you have that, because if you start to feel a little weird and you're in a meeting or you're driving or something, you can actually take a look and go, well, why am I feeling weird? Maybe I need to eat something, you know. But it also just gives you kind of a graph of how you're doing that day.
Right.
And
So
I
it's
think
your report card for the day.
rather than with the pump, that I've been taking my blood sugar probably between 10 and 15 times a day.
Really?
Yes. For the last 26 years. And I never knew where I was. I never knew where I was until I took my blood sugar, and I didn't know whether it was going up or going down. If it was 75, that's a great blood sugar, but is it going down? Am I going to dip down where I'm going to have a low blood sugar?
In the wrong direction.
Right.
Right.
So that's
Right.
it has been such a life changer for me, and I think also for all the millions of type 1 diabetics out there, it will change the landscape in the future for everybody.
Really?
For everybody. Yes.
And so this is a tool that this implant can be for type 1 and type 2?
Both type 1 and type 2 if they're on insulin therapy.
If they're on insulin
Insulin
therapy. Okay, that is the requirement.
Yes. Others may not need it unless they are on sulfonylureas, where they're going to get a lot of hypoglycemic symptoms. But at the moment, the recommendation is type 1 and type 2 who are on multiple insulin therapies. One of the good stories about Diane was I called her 2 days later to find out how things are.
Right.
And that day morning, she woke up at 4 o'clock because she felt a buzz.
Oh, okay, so she had
And-
that alarm go off.
Yes, and she looked at the number and it was 68.
Really?
And her alarm is set at like 70. See how accurate the
Yes.
information is. See,
Yeah.
this is what I want for my patient. They need to see technology is great,
Right.
but not all technologies are perfect, right?
Right.
But this is almost perfect. I wouldn't call it perfect because still there is more to come.
Right.
But Dan and Amanda, they can trust their numbers from now on.
Right.
So
and that
then
gives
they
them
can
the
take
freedom
appropriate
to
action.
do their
Yes.
job and move
Correct.
about because they're both, you know,
Both
career.
of them are like, you know, so hardworking, professional young
Right.
women, and they do so much for their family and their
Just a busy
client.
life. Yeah.
They have busy life.
And so, Amanda, you received it that same morning, and
I did.
of course, you're newly diagnosed.
I know. In February, 7 months.
So you were blessed to just be on the front end of this, because
Yes.
you know Diane has done what 26 years, and now she has this wonderful product. But you were able to, in less than a year, to get on board with this. So how is it from when you first started to where you are now?
Well, I mean, when I first started, I was checking my blood sugar probably 15 or 20 times a day.
Really?
I didn't have type 2 and develop into
Right.
1, so it took me by surprise. And so just to have the ease of checking it
Right,
and
and
looking
not
at
the stress, because this is
Yes.
all new to you.
Yes.
And you had to build this into your family life, your work schedule, and everything.
Yes.
So you are from Georgia, and Diane is from Alabama, and you were brave women, and you just blazed the trail.
Yeah.
When Dr. Baliga said, "Let's do this," you all said, "I'm in."
I was so surprised.
I was
The
the same
moment I
way.
brought this, let's do it. You know?
I was like,
Can we do it now?
Tomorrow? Is that when we're going to do it?
Yeah. So the fear, I mean, the day after, how was it? When you went home, did you have fear? How were you? You were okay?
Too good to be true.
Yeah.
I'm so like waiting for the other shoe to fall.
Right.
Because it can't be that good, but it is.
It is that
It
good.
really is.
And so you can monitor from your phone.
Absolutely.
And so if
Yep.
you're at work, you can just check yourself.
All the time.
You can send your report card to Dr. Baliga so he can give you a happy face on your numbers. Yeah, no,
And
really.
It also it has the event log, so when you want to eat, you can you can put in how much you're eating, your insulin, your recovery, if you're going to exercise. So you can have like a little journal and diary to correlate with your sugar
What
and your
you're doing.
numbers. Yes, it's
Okay.
wonderful.
It's life-changing. Okay.
Absolutely.
Well,
it
what
is.
we're going to do is go to our final break to our sponsors, and Kathleen's going to join us, and we'll be
Okay.
right back. Okay. We'll be right back after word from some of our sponsors. Straightforward is brought to you by Warrior Outreach. Contact Command Sergeant Major Retired Sam Rhodes or Kathy Rhodes. The Hugel Foundation, enriching the community through Christian music support, community outreach, and the Georgia Through Photography Project. For more information, call B at 706-568-6431. Progressive Funeral Home, family owned and operated since 1952. The George Ford legacy of high standards continues today in the compassionate and professional services provided. A touch of dignity for those who care. Progressive Funeral Home, 4235 St. Mary's Road, trusted by generations. Best Care, transforming minds and bodies, leading the way in the latest techniques of medical weight loss and wellness. Certified in family medicine and bariatrics, Dr. Blunt is ready to assist in the transformation of your mind and body. Call today, 706-221-6477, or visit bestcarecolumbus.com. East Alabama Endocrinology, educating and caring for those living with diabetes in Alabama and Georgia. 1400 Bradley Lake Boulevard, 3320 Skyway Drive, Suite 602, Opelika. Take charge of diabetes and live your best life. State Senator Ed Harbison, serving the citizens of Georgia's 15th Senatorial District and on the front line for veterans every day. And welcome back to Straightforward. We're so excited. We have those awesome, fabulous, trailblazing women, Amanda and Diane, took the leap of faith, trusted Dr. Baliga, got the latest technology, and living their best life right now with diabetes. And that's what we want our community to know about. They can live a great life just like you. No more 10, 15, 20 finger sticks a day.
No.
Because they trusted Eversense, the new technology, and you have a better quality of life.
See,
Definitely.
that's a very important, because when I look at my patients, how, these are family people, right? They have a husband and a wife, kids, they have a career, they have to juggle so many things. And having diabetes and being on insulin therapy and constantly thinking about, am I going to go low? Am I going to pass out? Or you go to bed, you're worried. What if I go low and something happens? What's going to happen to my children, right?
In your sleep.
So, in your sleep, yeah, that's why. So now we have a unique device which is implantable, which lasts 90 days.
90 days.
90 days. Every 5 minutes they get an update about their blood glucose
On the phone?
on their phone all the time. And if it drops, and it gets a vibe alert, you will feel the vibration. If it's below 70 or about 200, you can set your own custom alerts. Now that's going to transform the way we take care of our diabetic patients, because we want them to have good glycemic control with almost no hypoglycemia.
Okay.
Because low blood sugar is the one which is going to cause a lot of problems.
Okay.
I'm okay with my patients having somewhat higher blood sugar, but when they go, I panic. Because having hypoglycemia is not a fun event, because it takes so much out of you. If you get a severe hypoglycemic reaction, you're not the same person for the next 3-4 hours.
Really? It takes that long to recover.
Yes.
So
Takes
is
long.
it shaky, sweaty? It's,
No,
It's
That's
very
initially.
disorienting.
Yes.
It's very
Really?
disorienting.
And
Initially, you are shaking, sweating, irritable, hungry,
Can't focus?
confused.
confused,
Profuse sweating.
and you feel like I have to just continue to eat sugar tablets or orange juice, and you don't even have the wherewithal in your brain to let it go 10 or 15 minutes so that that could kick in and you'd be normal. So what normally happens, I think, with most patients or most type 1 diabetics is you overcompensate for the lows and you end up in the 200s and 300s.
Oh,
that.
so then it's too
So
high.
then you're fighting all day to get that high down to normal. So it's not with this.
Yeah.
Exactly, Amanda
Not
said,
with
not
this.
with this. With this, you can catch it before you go so low and just minimally treat it and watch what happens. And I think you learn more about your body and your response to food and insulin and everything else with this. I mean, you don't have that with any other product.
And so you've 26 years subject matter expert. So, no, really, and that makes
mean,
a
she is,
difference.
yes.
Yeah, and because you're newly
I'm
diagnosed,
new, still learning.
and you have been trying everything, for more than 26 years.
Yes.
So this is the best thing since sliced bread. I mean, it's going to get better,
It is.
Yes.
but this is the best thing that we have right now.
Right. There
Yeah.
are other CGMs. They're not implantable. They don't last 90 days. And I really did not have good success with them because after usually 1 or 2 days, something would happen and it would alarm and I would have to remove it. And again, you can't swim with them. You can't, there's a lot of restrictions. This is just so simple. You take it off, put it on the charger when you take a shower. After your shower, you put it back on and right over the sensor so the transmitter works.
Right.
And it's
So
just
the
amazing.
transmitter is talking to your phone.
Yes.
all the time.
Yeah, the
Well, we've been
transmitter
sitting here.
does, see, we showed you the small tube which goes underneath the skin.
Right, the little
That's
little
the one.
screw looking
That's the
thing.
actual sensor.
Okay.
And the transmitter sits on top of that, and it powers that sensor also.
Okay.
And the sensor senses the glucose, and it gives out fluorescence, and that converts that value into actual blood glucose, and the transmitter sends it to your iPhone via Bluetooth.
Okay.
So that's the beautiful, and this is a power source.
And
it
then let's
powers
hold
the
up
sensor
Diane's
also.
phone so we can see. Face it, yeah, this way.
And
Okay.
that's what. And they can send their glucose readings to me by email. I can download and I can see the numbers. So basically, when we download it, we show the tendency for low, tendency for high, average line.
Oh, and it's
beautiful.
giving you the
Yes,
time, like
yes.
12
It-
a.m.
It gives you
Yeah.
the midnight, 6 a.m., midday, 6 p.m.
12
yes.
a.m.
And
Okay.
it shows you the.
So it's a 24-hour period. Yes.
This is the best thing I can do for them. Then I can call her back and say, okay, let's make some adjustment to the pump. So that's the beauty of it.
And I think what's really cool with the story of Amanda and Diane is that, Eversense came to the market so that we could broaden the CGM market space. And we've done that. Both of these ladies have utilized traditional CGM in the past, and it just didn't work for whatever reason. And Dr. Baliga saw the foresight to say, you know what, here's a great alternative for these two type 1 diabetic patients. So
Yeah, and then they had courage. Because sometimes people don't want to be the first. But it seems like they were ready to be the first. They wanted to do it like right then.
Yeah.
And it's a wonderful success story.
And with the CGMs, the traditional ones like you were talking about, when you first apply those, you have a 12-hour calibration period where you're blind.
Oh, okay.
It's called
And
the
it
downtime.
wasn't, this is instantaneous.
Really?
Within 15 minutes.
It was
usually
working.
less. I mean, it's
Really? That's like buying a new
Yes.
cell phone and charging it and it was ready to go.
Exactly.
Oh, why?
So,
And with
but,
me, I'm in the medical field also.
Oh, you work in the medical field.
As an advanced paramedic and emergency nurse. And
Oh,
so
wow.
when I was diagnosed,
Uh-huh.
my first fear was, of all the people that I've ever helped
Yeah.
that were in DKA, and it doesn't
What's
end
DKA?
well. Diabetic ketoacidosis.
Okay, right, okay.
And that is the worst.
That's the
and
worst.
I always see the horrible end. And so, of course, that's where my mind went to.
Right, based on
And
your-
yes. So this is almost like having an extra person with you on your shoulder, literally,
That's your angel
literally
on your shoulder.
yes,
Yeah,
to say, hey,
Yeah.
So there is something called downtime once you put a new one in. So basically we tell them to wait several, like up to a day for that to calibrate. But it's out of 90 days, it's only
Yes.
1 day downtime.
Yes,
That's
right.
right.
Out
Whereas
of
with the other
90
sensors,
days.
it totals about 6 days in 90 days.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So that means you have more.
And that
I
didn't
would
mean it wasn't
gladly
already
wait.
working, but you just wanted them to be cautious, right? To make sure that it was, because it's the first. We love being the first, Kathleen.
We love
and we
it.
thank you so much in Eversense for allowing Dr. Baliga and this fabulous team and these wonderful women. No, because this is life-changing.
It is.
And this, we really need to just spread this word all over the United States. We're in the Bible Belt. We love sweet tea, peach cobbler, sweet potato pies, fried chicken. We like all of that. You know, that's Sunday dinner for us. But at least now we have some things that can help us to live better lives.
I've been
Well,
trying.
I just want to thank you all so much, ladies, for coming and sharing with our viewers. We always, Dr. Baliga, want to educate and inform. That's what we try to do with Straightforward. Thank you so much, Kathleen, and your company for allowing us to be a part of this launch. Dr. Baliga, you rock. I mean, you are it.
Couldn't agree more.
Thank you, Gloria.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely does.
I have a wonderful team, you know. This is what I like most, you know, you as an educator to the community, and these girls coming to me for help, and Kathleen from Eversense helping my patient. The best
It's
combination.
just a wonderful combination.
Good.
Well, thank you all so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
This has been Straightforward. If you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. Until next time, be blessed.